Hey, everybody.
Yo.
We are here. We're here for the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. I'm the armchair quarterback, Dizzle. I'm here with the wrestling encyclopedia, the bald historian himself, Duchy. Ha! And I'm with the man that puts the E and everybody gets a gumdrop. Eric's here.
What's up, people?
I usually try to steal about 3 or 4 gumdrops.
My hair is messed up.
That's okay. It gives you that bad boy look that you do so well. All right. We're here for a special episode. We're talking the most current of current. Clash of Champions 1989 Raging Cajun, baby.
Oh, yeah. That's as current can get.
Flair and Steamboat, the second in the trilogy.
Yeah. Second in the trilogy, 2 out of 3 falls. By the way, this event happened the same day as WrestleMania.
Yes.
WrestleMania 5.
Yes.
It was their way to combat WrestleMania. The problem is that they didn't promote it on television.
Yeah, they fucked up.
Like the deal was George Scott, who was the booker at the time, did not want to kill the house show business because Steamboat and Flair were doing the house shows.
Yeah.
So he didn't advertise the show, and everybody's just like, how are people going to know that we're on if you don't advertise? He goes, well, I don't want to kill the house shows. By the way, they were owned by TBS at the time. TBS, which is a television company.
Yeah.
And this Clash of Champions was a television program.
Yeah.
So figure that out.
Yeah. The fuck you doing?
They don't know.
Yeah, WrestleMania 5 this combated, right?
Yeah.
But before we get into all that, let's talk a little bit of current. And the only current we're really going to talk is we have a new champion, baby. Cody Rhodes, mine and Eric's boy, the man that we've believed in for all these years and that everybody likes to shit on sometimes, especially, I mean, right now he's getting it a little bit. Not too bad, though. Not as bad as he's gotten it in the past. But there was some booze at SummerSlam, and hopefully he comes out to a fucking Sea of Cheers tonight, and he's the biggest babyface in the world. And
well, they're in Montreal tonight, so and Canada's always like, there's something in the water.
Yeah,
there's something in Lake Ontario.
It's a heel town. They booed Edge.
No, that was Toronto. Well, I mean, Toronto is also in Canada. Canadians are just goofy.
Great people.
Yeah. Like I said, there's something in Lake Ontario.
Yeah.
Or at least they're used to.
The corrector gets corrected.
Love it. It had to happen.
There you go. All right. Yeah, but what we're really going to talk, we have a new champion. Clineth was right. I owe Clineth $5 because Seth cashed in. I was really going at Clineth saying he was hurt last week, and a lot of the fans, even though I know they're gonna Unreal next year is gonna be like we worked the whole fan. Nobody knew. No one, even though
Dave Meltzer broke the news.
Yeah, everybody was saying
3 days after.
Yeah. Meltzer got onto it and he cracked it, and so many other people were talking about it. It was a theory that was wildly. Clineth was fucking gung ho about it, and they were all right. He wasn't hurt. To me, that news, and I love the way it was done. I love the Punk thing. I don't really think there's that much to talk about there because I think we can all agree it was done pretty good.
It was done pretty good. I mean, obviously, I think we're getting a rematch from the triple threat of WrestleMania. In Paris.
And for everybody that's saying that, like, oh, Punk got 5 seconds with the belt, I feel so bad for him. Dude, it's wrestling. And he's not pissed. Trust me. He got another main event, a SummerSlam big-time main event, won the title, took place in a great story, and has stories in the future to build off of it. Punk's probably the happiest person in the room. Like I get it and I understand and I know the belts and the wins and the losses and all that matters because you're the guy and everything. Punk's the guy anyway.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that transcends the belt. And luckily you have a bunch of stars right now, like a Roman, like a Punk, like a bunch of people that transcend the belt. So you don't need the belt on everybody, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a locker room you want with
Exactly.
stars to the brim.
I'm just glad that Clint was wrong about Cody Rhodes, because he said that John Cena was going to win.
Yeah.
Because that way my phone didn't go off with
he didn't even watch SummerSlam, right? Because he was pissed off about the baby.
yeah, he said he gave up on SummerSlam.
He said in the group chat.
Yeah, which is fine, because if Eric and Clint
messaged him myself.
If Eric and Clint shut the fuck up and let me go to sleep, then I can go to bed
at a decent hour.
Yeah.
That's why I messaged him. That's why I messaged him myself. So.
And
then you were sending him naked pictures.
And that's the thing I really want to discuss. If we're going to discuss current, before we get into our old school retrospective here, I would say my question I pose to you two gentlemen: the Cena heel turn is over, admittedly. I mean, we're going to hear from him tonight, but I think we can all agree it's over. SummerSlam was a swan song. There's two questions here. One, was the heel turn a success or a failure? And two, was it the right decision to go babyface before SummerSlam? Did it hurt Cody? Did it whatever? How do we feel about those two things? Let's start with the first one. Was the heel turn a failure?
Yes, in the terms of he didn't do anything dastardly. All he did was he kicked people in the nuts. Angry ex-wives do that.
His promos were mean.
His promos were poking fun at kids that wore the same stupid shirts that he wore.
He didn't.
It was a failure, as in, like, if you're really going to sell yourself as a heel, you need to do something horrible. And I'm not just talking about, say Travis Scott's music is good. I mean, it's horrible, but not horrible enough. But I think it's a failure, as in, like, he really didn't sell himself as a heel. He came off as somebody bitter who just, didn't necessarily, who thinks he's above the money that the parents pay for their kids to see him.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, he just came off as a greedy fuck. He didn't come off as a bad guy. He just came off as a dick. And as far as was it a mistake for him to turn babyface on SmackDown? Yes, in the sense of they could have saved it for a big moment after the match, and they could have done like a hug and a handshake. Obviously, they didn't do that because they had something else planned. But they turned him babyface because they know Brock Lesnar is not going to work face, at least not against somebody that's smaller than him.
Okay. Now, this is interesting because I do have a different opinion, and that's okay. That's why we have the show, right?
Yeah.
But Eric, what do you have to say first? Because I don't want to.
I agree with Doug. I think the first question. What's the first question? The first question was
was the heel turn a failure or a success?
It was a failure. He didn't come off as a heel.
Okay.
He didn't. Not to me. It seemed like a babyface jackass.
Do you think he wasn't in it, or do you think he tried really hard and it just didn't work?
I think he tried, but the fans weren't buying it, and they were cheering him too much.
Yeah.
I think it happened 10 years too late.
And do you think going babyface was a mistake before SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? I can see why they did it now, because of Brock.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's obvious why they did it.
I think it's other reasons.
Well, go ahead.
I think the why is because they were going to cheer him anyway. Because I do think the heel turn works at a Raw or a Smack. I think the heel turn works in arenas. It doesn't work in stadiums. It doesn't work because stadiums bring casuals, and casuals love John Cena. Just like if you were to do Hogan back in the day in a stadium. It was the same thing with Hogan and Rock. People were turning on Rock. The SummerSlam match was just like The Rock. But they were cheering him when he won at the end, just like they did for Cody. But when you hit the stadiums, when you hit that amount of people and you have 50, 60, 70,000 people all in a building, a lot of those people don't even watch wrestling and they're taking their kids because they love John Cena. So they're cheering for John Cena too. And it's that shit. That hardcore audience, the me's, the us's, those voices start to tone down, and those people that really love Cody and love the story and whatever, you start to get that Cena love. Now I think it was to protect Cody because they were going to cheer Cena anyway, and Cody looks way less bad if they're both baby faces. Because it's like, oh, they're both baby faces and Cena's a generational baby face. Of course they're gonna. But if Cena's a heel and they're still cheering for Cena, Cody looks like a shitty baby face. So I think it was done.
They didn't want the same thing happening from WrestleMania.
Yeah, because at WrestleMania, Cody looked like shit. He didn't look like shit here. He looked great. And I saw a video, and this is just the second question. I'll address the first two, but I saw a video of a man with his son. And he's videotaping the little boy right before Cena's entrance, and he's decked out and all the shit. And he's like, my kid is hoping so bad that he's babyface tonight, and he just he wants good guy John Cena so bad. And this, please, John Cena, make my kids like year, please. And then the black and white comes, and he's like, oh, he's not going to do it. And he looks all sad. And then and he comes out, and and the kid's fucking loving it, and he's happy as fuck. And you hear the dad crying in the background, and it's an amazing moment. And shit like that, and that big fight feel, that spectacle, I don't think we feel it if he's a heel. I think he needed to be babyface. There was a magic in that main event that the WrestleMania main event fucking lacked hard. It's not even that it was just a way better match. There was this big fight feel that I talk about on the show so much because it's important to wrestling. Because if you're going to buy a ticket, if you're going to fucking turn on whatever, if you're going to pay $30 a month for this new fucking bullshit, which we'll address at another time. But if you're going to, because ESPN, the WWE just wants to fucking bend me over and take my whole check.
Well, and by the way, Peacock is actually still trying to come up with an offer.
Yeah.
Like, even though they made the fucking announcement that they're going to ESPN, Peacock is still trying.
Can we keep Nitro?
Yeah,
you're putting it on
Peacock is still, they still are going to deliver them a package.
Yeah.
Or like an offer package to try to keep them. They made the fucking announcement already. Like, I think the ship has sailed, but Peacock's just like,
yes.
Although they did make an announcement for New Orleans before, remember? And then they changed that.
Yeah, but that's also because TKO likes Vegas.
Yes. So, if you're going to pay a ticket, you want to pay a ticket. Or if you're going to pay for a service and you're paying for a main event and you're buying a pay-per-view and you fucking, it's got to be Tyson Holyfield. It's got to be something huge. It's got to be, but we had a really good undercard and, we had good matches and that's great. But I want a big fucking main event that makes me want to see it. Whether it's going to be a great match or not, seeing two, titans of the industry go at it is why wrestling works. That's why Hogan was so important.
Right.
Like we talked last week. That is kind of what makes it. And that match really had it. And I think it had it because he came out loving everybody. And he was the biggest babyface. And that had an energy to it. And the story of that match and the fact that by the end of it, and I know they're not fucking tearing the roof off, but there was cheers of respect by the time Cody got that belt.
Right.
At the end of that match, the fans respected that motherfucker. And even Cena telling him, I gave you all I got. Like, that video's out there now. And he's like, you just beat the best John Cena. He's like, I gave you all I got.
It was so good. And what's funny to me, and I kind of we know the first match sucked. Okay.
Yes.
We know the first match
Universally.
sucked.
Unreal can say whatever they want, but that match
but
sucked.
It sucked. But the rematch was pretty good. How many times have we seen this before to where the first one was so hyped and the first match is so hyped and it doesn't come off great, but then they try it again and it works.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the first thing I was thinking of is
compared to Slamboree
or Super Brawl. And so like they figured it out. I think they knew where they went wrong, Travis Scott. And they're like, all right, well, this motherfucker isn't here. Cardi B's not going to want to get in the ring with these two. So we don't have to worry about some shitty hip hop artist.
Also, though, Super Bowl's not SummerSlam. They probably should have built it out and did it at Bash at the Beach.
Either that or you build it for like a Great American Bash.
That too, but even when I think of their tentpole events, it's Starrcade, Havoc, Bash.
And that's what Bischoff says too.
Well, Bischoff says Starrcade's not the WrestleMania, and he's wrong.
Yeah.
So I get it. You're the booker. You created everything, but you're wrong. Starrcade is your WrestleMania.
That's the way Dusty had intended it.
And by the way, you built up to Hogan and Sting at Starrcade. It was the biggest thing ever. You're not. That is your WrestleMania.
I mean, he fucked it up. Well,
Yeah.
he didn't fuck it up.
Yeah, but he would have built it up for Bash at the Beach if Bash at the Beach was that fucking important.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But so that's how I feel about the babyface. I kind of enjoyed it, and I think it made the match great. And it's not just a pretty good match. It's one of the matches of the year. And it's one of John Cena's better, like late 2015 on. It's probably his best thing. And Cody, it was a great Cody match.
How epic was that visual of him rising through Cody's
With him on the shoulders? It was great.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Everybody looked good in that match, and it was great. Do I think the heel turn was a success or a failure? I think it did what it needed to do. And I think we got to see, just like Heyman said on Ariel when he just came on, we got to see the what if. We got to see, all right, what if he'd seen the turn heel? And I think some of the promos were great. I don't think you can call something a failure if you got at least 2 good main events out of it. And him and Punk was great, and him and Randy was great.
Yeah.
The truth stuff, it was what it was. The tag with Logan was kind of ass, but there was some good stuff in there. There was some great promos in there. So I think there was too much good to call a legitimate failure. Do I think they knew what they were doing or where they were going with it? Absolutely fucking not. I think they were winging it and they didn't really know. And I honestly do like the decision that they were like, you know what, fuck it, we're going babyface. Yeah. I like that. I mean, I know a lot of people were interested to see maybe he does leave with the belt. But I think that this was probably the best case scenario, and I think this is great for Cody. And I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing too is that with him and Punk needed like a shit ton of interference.
Yeah,
this didn't need interference. This was good, just as a straight up match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought that the match did what it needed to do. As far as the return of Brock Lesnar goes, I'm just going to say this real quick. Because Lance Storm brought up a pretty good point. Because a lot of people are just like, are you really sure this is a good idea? Lance Storm basically said that if the women in WWE, because women when Vince was in charge, were viewed a lot differently than they are now. Because now they're the most important part of the show, if not one of the most important parts.
Yes.
If the women in the company are comfortable enough with Brock being around, because I've said this before, Brock did nothing wrong except for receive pictures, and unfortunately, he opened a message. It's the only thing he did wrong.
Based on claims right now, I don't. And you finish your point. I'm not cutting you off. Finish your point. But all I'm saying is I'm not going to talk about a case that's not closed.
Right.
I'm just saying Brock Lesnar as a viewer and not give a shit.
Well, and I'm just saying that, like, from what I read, because nothing in those claims says he did anything except for he received the pictures.
Yeah.
But so if the women in the company are just like, it is what it is. He's not going to be in the same. We dress in a women's locker room. They dress in a men's locker room. If he leaves us alone, which he probably will, because he doesn't like people anyway, then it is what it is. We'll just, hey, how are you? Whatever. Now, if they're uncomfortable with it, that's where you have the problem. But because I think a lot of the women in the company are professional.
Well, dude, there's cameras back. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? You're getting filmed your every move. You can't fucking be an idiot or a creep or anything.
And he's not gonna.
Yeah,
he is too private of a person,
and that's too public of a company.
Yeah, so he's not going to do anything. So the fact that they're bringing him back, obviously he's going to be watched, at least until he swallows a cameraman whole.
Yeah, it doesn't offend me
It doesn't
whatever.
It doesn't offend
I know
me.
it doesn't offend you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if it offends a viewer, then that is what it is. And if that makes you not want to check out the product, then that's up to you. Doesn't personally offend me. I like Brock Lesnar as like a main eventer and a big guy. I don't need him around. If you like personally as like he can do like put over Braun Breaker, do the Cena match. There's a couple of things, and there's a couple of new guys.
I think he's only here to do the Cena match.
Yeah, there's a couple of things if they want to do him and Fatu. Like there's a couple of things I could get excited for. But if we're getting another Brock Lesnar title reign, you can count my ass out. I don't want that. But I don't mind him to deliver some big match feels, like I said, because if there is a guy that brings that big fight feel, it's Brock.
Right.
So him and Cena, it'll be a good little thing. I am excited for that. And I'll see I'm excited for SmackDown tonight. I really am. Yeah. But we'll see. All right, let's start.
That was right. He did come back, but wrong company, wrong promotion.
Yeah, I mean, I said he was going to AEW, but
You're right.
Brock looked at the roster and was like, "I poop bigger than all these people."
Yeah, pretty much. You want me to work with Ricochet? I squashed him in 45 seconds one time.
Yeah, it would be like a fucking 50-on-1 match, but Brock and Hobbs would be ooh.
Brock and Hobbs would be nice.
You can say what you want about the creative at AEW. I think it's actually in a pretty hot period right now. And I know Eric agrees with me. And I think they're doing good shit. Of course, the fantasy booker, I call myself the armchair quarterback for a reason. And I know armchair quarterbacks piss people off. But I love the creative side. And I love if I was next to Tony and we had an idea to bring Brock in, it's like, dude, bring Brock in. Have him squash Paige. I know it's going to piss everybody off. Get the title on him and build towards Hobbs and Brock and make Hobbs your biggest baby face. Get him away from the ops. Make him your biggest baby face for a year. All in, Brock and Hobbs. Let's make some money. That's simple as that. But, that it is what it is. Let's talk Raging Cajun. Let's go back to the 80s, gentlemen. How about that?
All right.
1989. You only watched the pay-per-view, right? Or not the TV special, right? You didn't watch the extra matches because there were matches left off that are on like Daily Motion and shit. But I didn't expect you to look for those.
Yeah, that was episode. It was matches 3 to 6 or something that were left off. I only watched it whatever was on network.
Okay, and that's fine.
Yeah,
me and Doug will briefly. We didn't get to see Bob Orton and Rip Rogers.
Yeah, Dick Murdoch. And the other matches that were left off the card because there wasn't enough time on the broadcast were on like the following episode of like WCW Saturday Night or something, or World Championship Wrestling as they called it back then. We didn't obviously watch it because we just had to pay attention to the show.
Well, the dark matches, Sting and Luger's match, I couldn't find a fucking trace of it. I looked for them. I don't know if they were televised. They were.
Well, on TV Jim Ross said that they were going to be on that episode of on the Saturday episode.
Well, maybe we got to check. Is it on the network?
Yeah.
Then we'll have to check that out because I looked for it on the internet.
You probably should have asked me this like a couple days ago, or I probably should have brought it up. I thought about bringing it up, but I was waiting for you to ask.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I tried to look for it on my own. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I mean, we found like a couple of the other ones.
Yeah, we saw Iron Sheik and we saw the tag match, which is an important tag match that should have been on the fucking card. It was a title change with the Road Warriors.
Yeah. That tape had to have been busted.
Yeah.
Like, there is no way. They are not that. Well, they might. Well,
they are that stupid. And this whole show, and by the way, I am a WCW guy. So is Doug.
Yeah.
We love WCW and Crockett and the old shit to the fucking till they went out of business. Even some of the Russo shit I fucked with. I love WCW. But have they always been operated good as a business? Almost never. Some of the worst business people ever have ran WCW. And it's entertaining, to hear about it, the stories, and you've gotten a lot of books out of it. I just finished the audiobook, by the way, Nitro Guy Evans, great book. But you not really ran that well. If you're going to go against WrestleMania 5, you should probably have your shit together on what you're going to do. Yeah. Your broadcast. And if you're probably going to want your tag title change with the Road Warriors that are the most over thing you've ever had. It's called the Road Warrior pop when people get a big pop. You might want it on TV. And also, like, the crowd for that, and it was also another big faux pas is talk about the arena situation.
Okay. They were in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Yes.
That Superdome has packed in about 45,000 people before 4 wrestling events. You're coming off the 1987 oil crisis, which shut down a lot of businesses. Now here we are just 2 years later. The economy hasn't fully recovered yet. So you're going to run a 50,000 seat building. You're only going to put 5,000 people in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the thing. And this is the big thing. Obviously everything that was on Clash of Champions, like it made original air.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously. Right. It made original air. So everything aired on television.
Yep.
That night. The problem is that I think the tape got damaged somewhere to where when they transferred it over to the network.
Let me take back my criticism. Yeah, because they were edited out by the network. So they put it on TV. I should have been bitching, and my main bitch is the Luger and Sting. Those are 2 of your big stars. Why are they dark matches?
Because they did not were on the card either.
Because they wanted to give Flair and Steamboat fit. I mean, well, here's the thing. You could have taken out Orton and Murdoch was 33 seconds.
Those are 2 jacked rising stars, though. Like, put them on the card.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You take out Orton and Murdoch.
And take out Sheik.
Yeah, Sheik and Razor Ross.
Even though that match was kind of fun, still.
I enjoyed the hell out of it, to be honest with you. But still, take them out, and you make sure Luger and Sting are on that card. So that's like those are the big issues. The tag title match, I mean, again, damaged tape. Or hell, you could have even taken out the fucking First Family versus Spivey and Sullivan. Because you redid that, because that match sucked. And then you redid the fucking thing at Wrestle War, a month later, and it sucked then too. And by the way, you closed the fucking pay-per-view that night with that match because you had Flair and Steamboat go on in the middle of the show.
How did they do that? That was the last match of this.
Yeah, that was the stupid mistake. Okay. That is your main event. That is why everybody's there. I just talked about the big fight feel. This has it. Why is it not the main event?
And 2 of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Despite my personal opinions of both guys, 2 of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
But also, if we're going to criticize that, their Clash of Champions is a response to Saturday night's main event, and it does the same thing. So we can't bitch too much. I'm sorry, I don't mean to mic drop with that, but it's a good point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Saturday night's main event's the same thing, and it does the same thing. And those were big Hogan matches that were big main events, but they put them on early. Maybe WCW was thinking the same thing, and hey, we want the kids to watch it before bed. Like I get it. I'm just giving the devil's advocate. And I agree with you.
Well, and here's the thing. It ran up against WrestleMania 5, right?
Yeah.
WrestleMania back in the day, back in the early days, up until I think WrestleMania 9, always aired at 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So this was an afternoon clash because they ran right up against it. So, I mean, maybe they were trying to follow the Saturday night's main event formula. I don't know. I think it's dumb. I mean, well, when you have Jim Herd running your company, and
they were in a bad place.
Jim Herd, by the way, was a manager of a Pizza Hut in St. Louis.
And by the way, this is still NWA for the kids wondering.
Yeah, it's not WCW yet.
Not quite yet.
They have a program called World Championship Wrestling.
Yes.
But
that's the thing you see behind that billboard when you see those classic Dusty and Ric Flair promos.
Yeah. Now
confused the shit out of me as a kid when I was watching the DVD. Yeah. I remember watching it and I was like, WCW is that? And you're like, well, it wasn't W. I'm like, but it's WCW right there.
Yeah. But yeah, Jim Herd comes off running a Pizza Hut. He happened to be friends with Jack Petrick, who was a executive over at TBS. So Jack Petrick said, okay, Jim, we're going to give you a job in wrestling. And Jim Herd had a job in wrestling back in the 70s, or no, back in the late 60s, I think. He was a station manager for for the TV station in St. Louis that ran Wrestling Through the Chase.
Jim Herd is the creative genius behind the Ding Dongs
Yes.
tag team, and he wanted to shave Ric Flair's head, put him in a Roman soldier outfit, and call him Spartacus.
Yeah. Also wanted to create a tag team called the Humpbacks.
So this man was a fucking idiot, and he's world renowned as that. I mean, in the wrestling industry, he was known of not. I'm sure he was a great manager of a Pizza Hut. So I don't want to. I mean, maybe he's got great IQ, wrestling IQ, not so much.
And the thing is, a lot of people said that he was okay as a person.
Yeah,
but as a, I mean, well, Jim Cornette won't say that. The funniest story I ever fucking heard was Jim Cornette saying how he wanted to quit WCW. He was going to barge into Herd's office with a blank pistol and fire off 2 shots and scare the shit out of Herd and then quit. And Bobby Eaton looked at him and said, Jimmy, as many people as hate that asshole, don't you think he might have a real gun in his desk? And Cornette's like, you know what? I'm not going to do that then.
That's a good point. That's fucking hilarious.
Now, we don't know if Jim Herd had a real gun in his desk. We don't know that for sure, but it's just like it got Cornette to back off of what he was thinking of doing.
Bobby Eaton's words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Let's get into the card, shall we?
And by the way, we start with Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, we start with the Samoan SWAT team, which doesn't involve Bobby Eaton, but that's Samu and Fatu. And Fatu is old Rikishi, who, if you still want to check him out, he'll be bitching about how Jey Uso's getting booked in about a couple hours, probably.
Because Jay also wasn't on Raw this week.
And they're with a young man that would go on to do a couple things, Paul Heyman, which the Samoan SWAT team managed by Paul Heyman is fucking hilarious.
Well, and the thing is that he lost the original Midnights at the Chi-Town Rumble. Randy Rose got pinned, had to leave town. Dennis Condrey knew that his team was going to get broken up, so he didn't even show up in town.
Yes.
So, but they wanted the Heyman Cornette thing to keep going. So they gave Paul a new team. And Paul tried his best to make it work. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
And Cornette has even said before that the chemistry between the Midnights and the Samoans just wasn't there because the Samoans really didn't like to sell, which I think is a bunch of horse shit because they were selling they were getting worked over pretty good in this match. So I don't know what Cornette was bitching about. I don't think the world ever does, but I thought this match, I thought the Samoans sold their asses off in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think the wrong team went over, but this is actually the last appearance of the Midnights for about a month and a half because their contracts were running out and they didn't think they were coming back. But then they ended up coming back, but they wanted like a long break. So they gave them a month.
Yeah. And they went up against the Midnight Express, which is Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan Lane.
Yep.
And managed by old Jim Cornette. So Jim Cornette opposite Paul Heyman is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that is just the ultimate jabberjaw managers to go up against each other. And the match, the second longest match on the card, because of course Steamboat and Ricky go an hour.
Yeah.
So this match is very well done and a very well told story, and it's good. The Samoan SWAT team's just not as good as the Midnight Express, but the Midnight Express can make anybody look good, and they make them look good. And I do think it's a very well wrestled match. What about 20 minutes? And I actually really enjoyed this one. I do think it's one of the better wrestled things on the card. But I mean, when you think of this show, it is kind of one match because, you know, this is the second one in the trilogy, and this is known as the greatest wrestling trilogy of all time, Ric Flair and Steamboat. So, I mean, that's what this card's kind of known for, is that match. But this was a really good opener. And I would honestly give this a 3.2 out of 5.
I'm actually going to say 3.5.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with my padre here and say 3.5.
All right.
Did he just call me a padre?
Some padre.
All right. I was just going to say
I
am not a priest.
I said
All right.
Padre. I was trying to say compadre.
Oh, okay.
Next up, we got Muta versus Stephen Casey. No relation to Scott.
Not. I mean, on screen they were, but
Yeah.
not off screen. Off screen, Scott Casey can't stand him. He actually told us that in an interview about 5 years ago.
Friend of the show.
Yep.
Great Muta was always fucking cool. I mean, that's
Who
a character.
Who can he stand?
Stephen Casey, his on-screen brother.
Okay.
Yeah, they were on-screen brothers. Scott Casey once told us a story. I don't even know if the interview's still available. But he once told the story about how Scott needed, or how Stephen Casey, also known as Stephen Dane, from GWF, he needed money for something, and he asked Scott for $100. Scott gave it to him, and then when Scott wanted it back, Steve Casey never talked to him again.
It's fucked up. And he didn't have to work with him anymore?
No.
Because that'd be crazy if they were in the ring together. He's like, hey, you remember that? He said, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can I get the tag?
Great Muta was always a star, a territory legend, especially in the NWA and WCW and stuff.
Yeah.
Great Muta is the fucking man. His matches with Sting, I love him.
Japanese legend too, by the way.
Yes, he is the man, and he looked as cool as he always looks here. This wasn't like a wrestling classic, but it was a pretty fun match where Muta looked like the badass he is. I'll give it a 3.
I'm gonna say 3 as well. I do feel like Steve Casey was kind of the perfect first opponent for him to help Muta, or to help get Muta over.
Yeah.
So, and Gary Hart is a very underappreciated manager.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's right behind Akbar as far as being the greatest manager in Texas. Or in the history of Texas wrestling.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I'd say 3 on this.
All right.
I say 3-1.
There you go, Eric. All right. Next up, we got JYD versus Butch Reed with Hiro Matsuda. Teddy Long is the referee. This match is actually my favorite on the card besides the main event, Rick and Steamboat. This match was the coolest shit ever. JYD, and yes, JYD and Butch Reed are a little past their prime.
Yeah.
But I think Butch Reed still look jacked here and still look badass. And JYD was as fun as he always is and such a cool character. Such a great, I mean, this match just had so much fucking coolness to it. And it's just, and if you're a fan, and I'm not making anything racial, but if you're a fan that's like, I want more like black wrestling, and there's not like nowadays, if there's not like there's not a real black world champion in WWE or anything, or I mean, you got the New Day that are killing it in the tag division and stuff, but I think there's a ranking going on, and there's people talking about how there hasn't been a black singles match since Ricochet and Logan Paul.
Pretty.
Rack your brain. I mean, you've had other like maybe a triple threat or something.
I mean, anything beyond, or like the black females are.
Yeah, this is a male star.
Yeah,
but you have a lot of Naomi's killing it. But if you're looking for, soul in wrestling, this is JYD was the fucking man. He was the guy, and Butch Reed is one of my favorite territory guys of all time. And those guys going to get at it was just so fucking cool. And I really do love this match. And I'm not, I think it's a good match between two. And it's not about race, and it's just two really good athletes going at it. But it's a really good match.
And it had or go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, speaking of JYD, I'm going to drop a little plug here. We did a retrospective on him about a month and a half ago?
At least a couple months ago, yeah. And it was really cool to do. And the thing about the dog, and the thing about this match, is had an old school finish where like he ran him into Hiro Matsuda and then he pinned him.
Yeah.
You could tell that like it was kind of messed up a little bit because I think he wanted to roll him up, but Butch just took a back bump.
Yeah.
Which it's fine.
Yeah, it still looked good.
Yeah. But no, this was a good match. And these are two guys, they've drawn in New Orleans before.
Yeah.
All right. That's one of the reasons why George Scott, even though, again, fucking moron, but George Scott, who was the booker, he knew, he's like, you know what? Like, they've been in New Orleans before. We can draw with them.
Well, yeah. And JYD is a guy, like, if we're talking main eventers that have fucking brought a lot of people to a building, JYD is one of the bigger ones in the territories. When JYD was hot, he was filling up. I don't know if they did a stadium, but big arenas.
I mean, in Mid-South, like the Superdome was the big stadium.
Yeah, and they filled that shit up.
Yeah,
with JYD. So not here.
Yeah, not here. But again, though, when your economy is bad.
Yeah, and the business was not as. I mean, Hogan's still doing his thing, and the WWE is still hot, but the rest of the industry is not. The WWE is the only game in town at this point, really. And you got to be a real fan if you're into the other shit.
Now, it kind of changed the subject a little bit. Somebody in our Wrestling Through the Years group, and I forgot the name of the gentleman, he leaked a document with the payments for everybody that participated in SummerSlam 91.
Yeah.
Elizabeth got paid $75,000 to do the wedding.
Wow.
That's sick.
Like, it looked like 75,000 because it was a 7, a 5, and 5 and 3 zeros, and I'm pretty sure that's $75,000. Yeah. Somebody's like, "Oh, she got paid 7,500." It's like, no, that's 75,000. She got paid $75,000 just to get married in the ring, and Kurt Hennig got paid $20,000 for the Intercontinental title match with Brett. Brett got paid $15,000 for winning the belt.
Jesus Christ. This has been fucking metal.
And I looked at that and I was just like, oh my God.
Don't show it to Brett.
Like, I'm just like, holy shit. And Fuji, who wasn't even on the card, like, I think they did like dark matches before the show.
Yeah.
Fuji got paid and he was nowhere near that. Fuji still got paid $10,000 just for being at the building.
That's fucking amazing.
Was she the only woman on the show?
Fuji?
What?
You asked if he's the only woman on she was the only woman on the show, and I was talking about Fuji.
Oh yeah. No.
I was just gonna say a hand is gonna be coming up, is gonna be reaching down and slap, or a cane's gonna be coming down and slapping you for calling Fuji a woman. I know who he is.
You don't want to fuck with Fuji.
I was asking about Elizabeth.
He's an all-time ripper.
Yeah. No, Elizabeth was no, Sherry was there.
Okay.
I think Sherry got paid like $25,000.
So the women got the most paid, basically.
As it should be.
Yeah. Well, she got 20. Well, I mean, Hogan got like $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Hogan got $100,000. Warrior got $100,000 because that's what he helped Vince up for. Sarge got paid $75,000, and Sheik, because he was Colonel Mustafa.
Yeah,
Sheik got paid $50,000.
Fuck yeah.
So he got paid $50,000 less than Hogan, and they were in the same fucking match.
I mean, he still got paid way more than Bret Hart.
Yeah, that's
Bret Hart somewhere like, I was an artist. This is fucking bullshit.
The only thing that can redeem Bret is the fact that Virgil only got $10,000.
Virgil's the man.
And DiBiase got paid $25,000.
Dog and Butch Reed, I'm giving 4 out of 5.
I'm gonna go up a little bit. I'm gonna say 4-3.
You're too kind.
Well, I like both
I'm
guys.
gonna agree with Daniel and say 4.
All right. All right, we didn't see Bob Orton versus Dick Murdoch. So let's move on to the Varsity Club versus the Road Warriors, which Bob Orton and Dick Murdoch was 33 seconds and Bob Orton won. And I know it leads to a bull rope match.
Yeah, which actually was a pretty decent bull rope match at that.
Who won that?
Murdoch.
So
Well, I didn't see the
I'm
Road
pretty
Warriors
sure.
So he got his
match,
get back?
Yeah. What?
I didn't see the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors match.
Well, yeah, because that was
wasn't
blocked off. And I'm, by the way, I'm being yelled at by our mother.
Don't be picking on Bret Hart. We love Bret Hart.
Mom, it's not our fault that they screwed him over and paid him $5,000 less than the guy he beat.
And I love Bret Hart. Me making fun of him, bitching about everything. I love that he I love bitter Bret Hart because I am a bitter man, and I love that he just hates everybody, and it's all reasonable. Everything he says is the fucking truth. Even though this Gunther shit, no, chops aren't lazy. I don't agree with that. Fuck that. Because he called Gunther, he said Gunther does lazy shit. It really hurting people. He said, I didn't really have to hurt people. I just put them in holds. I didn't have to chop the shit out of them. No, the chops are cool.
He used to headbutt guys.
But he compared it to Rick. He's like, I would wrestle Ric Flair and be sore the next night and be like, dude, this shit's fake. Why are we? And that's a reasonable thing. But also it's like the chops make it look legitimate, real, and cool. It brings something. And Gunther does it like the best. So.
My favorite thing about Bret Hart, though, was at WrestleMania when they brought everybody out for the Hall of Fame, and Triple H came out and shook everybody's hands.
Yeah.
I'm still finishing the story. You can turn it off if you don't want to hear it. But Triple H came out, shook everybody's hands. And after he shook Austin and Bret's hands, Bret looked at Austin and rolled his eyes. He's just like, yeah, he's like, fuck this motherfucker.
Yeah.
So.
I loved it.
Yeah.
The way he gave, because everybody loves Triple H now, and especially this Unreal show is just and listen, and he's a great guy, and I think it's all legitimate. I don't think it's fake, but I do think he looks extremely well in it, and maybe it's just because he's a really great guy, and I would presume that that's the truth. But it does. If you want to be a Triple H fan and you want something that makes him look really positive, that show's a good place to go to.
Yeah.
And that's the sole point. And I love that Bret Hart still holds as well. You screwed me in the Montreal screw job. I'll shake your hand, but I'm giving you a face. And everyone's gonna see it.
and everyone did see it. It was like fucking screenshotted.
It was everywhere. Dude.
Yeah. Every fucking meme that you could come up with.
Everyone's like, I want to hold the beef as long as Bret Hart holds beef.
Yeah. All right, so the tag title match.
The Varsity Club, Mike Rotunda and Steve Williams, Dr. Death, with Kevin Sullivan as their manager, going against the Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk, with old Paul Ellering, and for the NWA World Tag Team Championships. And this is a shock finish. It's kind of a fuck finish, but the Varsity Club gets the win, and they win the titles.
Yeah, because Teddy Long, after getting shoved to the ground by Animal,
he gets pissed off.
He gets mad.
It was Hawk. Oh, no, it was Animal. Yeah.
No, Animal's the one that pushed him. And then they hit the finish, the clothesline on Mike Rotunda.
Yep.
They go for the pin. Teddy Long's just standing in the corner. And then Steve Williams, who wasn't even the legal man, rolls Hawk up as Animal is beating up Kevin Sullivan outside. And then you just see Teddy Long go.
Really.
That means
he doesn't even do 3. He just does a 1-2.
Yeah, and then calls for the bell.
And JR's like, that's the fastest count I ever saw. Hawk was pissed at the end. This match was good. When they hit the Doomsday, the crowd went crazy.
Yeah.
And them coming out to Iron Man was always fun to watch back then.
Yeah, and we actually got to see it because this was on Daily Motion. So.
Yeah, so it didn't get edited out by the network. We didn't get elevator music instead. It was a very good match, and the Road Warriors were so fucking over, and they were so cool. And the Varsity Club were great wrestlers. Mike Rotunda could go with anybody, and the whole Rotunda family is one of those wrestling families that are like up there.
Yeah,
and Dr. Death was always awesome. So this was a really good wrestling match, and it sucks that they cut it off, but you can still go see it on the internet. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
I'm going to say 3.8.
All right.
Eric's not going to say anything.
Yeah, you didn't see it.
Yeah.
And now a 2-minute match, another one Eric did. The last one Eric didn't see. And it's Ranger Ross defeating the Iron Sheik by disqualification. And who runs in and helps him again?
So Rip Morgan helped the Sheik, and they were beating him down with the flagpole. JYD comes out.
Yeah, and helps.
And helps Ranger Ross.
But she's doing a Slaughter gimmick.
Yeah.
Which everybody that did Slaughter gimmicks besides Slaughter, I never liked. I never liked him, and I never liked. Well, who was the Corporal? Who?
Kirchner.
Yeah, Corporal Kirchner could eat ass. I didn't like. It's Slaughter. It's Sergeant Slaughter, and that's it. That's my military gimmick of choice.
Yeah.
Even though Booker T and GI Bro, you know. But yeah, that's how I feel about that. It was a fun match. It was fun seeing Sheiky Baby with the boots. This I've been listening because Howard Stern is getting off Sirius. At least that's what was reported, right?
Yeah.
After how many years on the air, and who knows what he's going to do next. But he's off. So I was listening to old Stern, and I listened to one with Hulk Hogan. And this was when he was going through all the crazy shit with his wife at the time. And Sheik called in. And Sheik was talking mad, and he's like, "Fuck Hulk Hogan," and he's doing his classic because he was always talking shit to Hulk, and it's hilarious. And then at the end of it, he's like talking all this shit, and then Hulk's like, "All right, I love you, man." And he's like, "Love you too, man." And then he hangs up the phone, and Stern's like, "No, I mean, you guys fixed that quick."
Yeah, and what's funny is like the first time he ever had Sheik on the show, he has those two guys, Sal and Richie.
Yeah,
that basically they do anything to kind of pop a download, whether that be get their testicles shocked or all this crazy shit that no sane human being should fucking do. Baba Booey, Gary Dell'Abate did some research and found out guys that Iron Sheik hates.
Yeah,
so they had Sal and Richie, or Richard, I think is what his name was. Fucking dress up as these wrestlers and send in video messages to the Sheik.
Yeah.
So like Sal and Richard dressed up as the Killer Bees because Sheik had a problem with the bees at the time, I guess. Dressed up as Hogan, dressed up as the Ultimate Warrior.
Was he getting pissed?
Oh, he was getting so fucking mad. And Howard Stern just kept going, "Iron Sheik, you're such a legend, and you're so great, and all that." And Artie Lane has no idea who the fuck any of these guys are. But Sheik is just getting so mad. He's like, "What the Ultimate Warrior? He's a fucking pussy." And,
dude, he was all timer. Great promo, in and out.
My apologies to all Arab Americans
I was
for that accent.
Let's cut that. I didn't like mine either, so let's move on.
Yeah,
but Iron Sheik and the pointy boots, I fucking love it.
Oh yeah,
and this match, it was fun, but it wasn't much. I do have to just give it a 2.
I'm gonna agree with that. Although that combat kick that Ranger Ross landed was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good kick, and Sheik bumped for it well. Even though Sheik did look old as fuck here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he wrestled. He did good for a little 2-minute match, and he did get his shit in and everything. But it was like we're watching an older gentleman go. Main event time. 2 out of 3 falls. Ricky Steamboat, the Dragon, baby, versus Ric Flair. Considered the best wrestling trilogy of all time. This is the second match. This is going up against WrestleMania 5 and the Mega Powers exploding. Doug, you've watched both matches. So have I. Eric, have you seen WrestleMania 5?
I probably did.
Yeah, you probably have. Hogan and Macho or Ricky and Rick? What main event? If 1989, you're a grown man, you're in a time machine, you get a ticket to one. Which are you going to go see? WrestleMania 5 or Raging Cajun? Just strictly on the main event, though. Not on the whole card. What's the better main event?
I mean, wrestling wise, you got to say that it's Flair and Steamboat. But as far as like what I would want to watch, I was such a big Savage guy.
Even as a heel?
Yeah, even as a heel. Because even like watching it growing up, now back then, obviously, I rooted for Hogan.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're young and stupid. Or I was. But as like I got older and I saw like a lot of the buildup, and like any normal human being can see that Hulk Hogan is trying to get an Elizabeth skirt. Okay. So it's just like, so I kind of felt bad for Savage.
He grabbed her on the ass, for God's sakes.
So, well, whatever it may be, but
He did.
But then
I watched it.
Yeah, so did I. But yeah, so like I think just because of the spectacle, I would say Hogan and Savage. But this really was a really good wrestling match, and they left it open to do another match.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Which that was smart.
It was very smart. I would probably, wrestling wise, I think, because story wise, I think they both had great stories too.
Yeah.
Because I love the story of this, and we're just talking about this now. The young dragon, the guy who's going to be the future, a great baby face, somebody that can carry a company. And he really did feel like a main eventer at the time. Ricky Steamboat was legit, man. It's not just the guy that had one of the best WrestleMania matches ever with Macho. There's a whole nother career there in WCW.
Yeah.
And he really felt like the next guy. And Rick felt like the old fucking bull trying to hang on and trying to keep it, keep of relevancy, get the title back, and prove that he's still the man. And that story of this match was so compelling, and it made an hour feel like fucking 20 minutes. And it went by so fast. I did not feel like, I'm sorry, and I know how you feel, and Mom, I'm sorry, because if you're still listening, because I know you love Bret Hart, we've had our conversations about the Bret and Shawn match. It feels like, whatever you want to say, that match does feel like an hour.
Yeah.
Even if you think it's good or bad, that match feels like I've sat there for an hour. This match didn't feel like that for me. This match went by fast, and it went by, and it was so good. It was hard hitting, and it was action packed, and there was like sincere moments where like, oh, Rick's gonna get him. Like I thought Rick might get the second fall numerous times, but Ricky Steamboat, had that hunger, that fire, that passion, and even though it's a bit of a fuck ending because of his leg being on the rope, it didn't matter the way the camera shot. It still felt like a great ending, and it was cool the way they left it open ended.
Yeah,
it was a good fit.
It means you get another match.
Yeah, and it didn't come across. It didn't spoil the victory for me for the Dragon. And to me, the post interview and the way they shot that, I think they kind of made him look a little stupid. They didn't have to do that. The way JR was like, well, did it? And he's like, no, I didn't know. No. And then they're like, well, here's the video. It clearly happened. And he's like, well, okay, I guess he gets a rematch then. Fuck. So, I mean, that was kind of fucked up to do to a babyface. But yeah. But besides that, I thought the ending was perfect. And I thought this was wrestled great. And I'll let you guys open the floor now, but this is a 5 out of 5 for me.
Right. And here's the funny thing. So if you go back to the buildup of the first match, Steamboat comes out as Eddie Gilbert's mystery partner against Ric Flair and Barry Windham. He pins Flair, and they're going to start this match. They're going to have the match at Chi-Town Rumble. A few days before Chi-Town Rumble, they have a clash. And Flair comes out and badmouths Steamboat and Bonnie Steamboat and Little Ricky, the son. So Steamboat rips off Flair's suit, right? And George Scott, who was the booker, who's also known for booking the WWF towards the start of the Golden Era, and he was also the booker for World Class.
Yeah.
He booked it, and he's like, the Steamboat doing this to Flair, it's never been done before. 10 years prior, so 1979, either 78 or 79, Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat are in the Carolinas. George Scott is the booker, and George Scott booked this exact angle.
10 years before this?
10 years before this.
In 1979?
1979.
It was Ric Flair and Rick
Flair, Ricky Steamboat.
No, really?
And Flair had a bunch of women with him, one of whom happened to be the future Mrs. Bonnie Steamboat.
Oh, that's insane.
Okay.
Was it an event? What was
I don't know if it was an event, but it was like some kind of show. I don't even know if it was it might have been televised like locally, because this is way before the national cable overlay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was just televised in the Carolinas. But it happened. But it happened in 1979, 10 years later, because George Scott had Alzheimer's. So
This has never been done before.
Yeah,
even though I did it with the same exact guys.
I did the same exact fucking guys. Rick had his suit ripped then, but he couldn't. But because everybody thought the angle could get over, nobody said anything to him. But yeah, George Scott had Alzheimer's, so he could not remember anything he did 10 years prior. So he ran that exact angle again.
Yes, amazing.
And again, George Scott, God rest his soul, because I believe he has passed on. So God rest his soul. He was a great booker in his time. He was a little past his prime. It did not help that he didn't advertise the event, but he knew that Flair and Steamboat was going to put on a great wrestling match. So I will give George Scott credit for that.
Yeah.
As far as the match as a whole, I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to say 5 out of 5.
All right. Eric?
I thought the match was great. I'm actually watching for the third time. But so I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Great chemistry between the two, obviously. Each match,
I get it.
Each fall felt like a big match.
It did. And I get it. A lot of people aren't Ric Flair fans, especially nowadays. I will always defend his work, and this is one of the reasons why. He is not just a crotch grab in this. He's not just a chop. He had a hell of a suplex.
And by the way, this was so much better than a lot of 2 out of 3 falls matches today. Because in today's 2 out of 3 falls matches, the first fall lasts 30 fucking seconds.
Yes.
The first fall in this match went 19 minutes.
Yes.
Yep, the longest
it was paced out perfectly.
Yeah.
And it took Steamboat a few more minutes to get his, right?
I think he got the second fall at like 35.
Yeah.
Oh, no. 30, never mind.
Yeah, at about 34, 35 minutes. But this match was so well done. I wish they would have advertised it, because then the rating would have been bigger and George Scott would have been able to keep his job, because this was a beautiful match.
Yeah.
But of course, George Scott, because he didn't advertise it and the ratings came in and it did like a 4-1, which, by the way, was considered successful when Nitro used to do 4-1s 7, 8 fucking years later.
Yeah, 4-1's amazing.
Yeah, but they did a 4-1 here. So George Scott, I keep wanting to call him Jim Hurt. George Scott fucking gets fired like a week later because of the ratings coming in and they're too low. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, this is pretty good. A 4-1. AEW would kill for a 4-1. Okay.
WWE would kill for a 4-1.
Yeah.
Right now. That's great.
They can't even get a 4-1 on Netflix.
You get 4-1 these days.
No.
I agree with you.
So
4-1 in 1989?
Yeah, I think this is a testament. I mean, Ricky Steamboat was great and fucking pulled his weight, was awesome, but this is a testament of Ric Flair's greatness.
Yeah.
This match. And
look, I don't like either guy, but this to me was one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time.
Exactly. All right, the event as a whole.
There are 3 matches, right?
I like the third one.
I do too. We were actually going to do the third pay-per-view a couple of years ago, but then I watched it and the undercard sucked.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't want to put you guys through that.
So we didn't do
So
it.
I made the executive when I could make the executive decisions before you fully took over as the Grand Poobah.
You fucking give a lot of creative on this show.
Yeah. Well, before like I had to like ask permission before, like when I could just make the decision, be like, yeah, we're not gonna do fucking wrestle work because it's gonna fucking blow.
You don't ask permission. Now you do the cartoon show, and all your creative energy goes towards that. Don't blame me. If you want to do a show next week, you can guarantee you can say it, and we'll do it. Don't make me seem like Trump.
I just think you were the Grand Poobah.
I know, but it is a democracy here.
I do have an idea for next week.
No, we're not doing it. All right. What do you want to do?
SummerSlam 2000?
Didn't we do that? Or no?
We did it on Blog Talk.
We did?
Yeah,
we did it on Blog Talk. I know that.
That's a while ago, though. We could do
That was like 3 years ago.
I might have it. I might have it saved so I can put it up.
I mean, I was gonna say if you want to do it in video form, I don't think anybody's gonna be opposed to watching SummerSlam 2000 again, unless you want a counter idea.
No, I think we should.
05?
I was gonna say 98.
Okay. I'll do 98.
Well, 98 or 2000. We'll leave it up to you. What do you want to do?
98.
You want me to flip a coin?
Do we have one over here?
I have one.
Oh, you do?
Heads is SummerSlam. Tails is SummerSlam. Heads is 2000. Tails is 98.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
We're doing 2000.
2000. They won the toss.
Nice.
I have no problem watching that again.
And then what do you want to do the week after that?
The week after
I
that?
will be on the show.
Yeah, so it's just for you and me.
Maybe Cleaners will be on.
Oh God, then I have to do something that's going to appease to him too. Because I was going to say, you want to do an old school like retrospective on somebody?
Yeah.
You know who I'm thinking?
Oh.
We brought him up earlier.
Oh.
What if we do an old school retrospective on Sheik?
You want to do an Iron Sheik retrospective?
Yeah.
I'm down.
Why not? I mean, it's going to be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's give so that we have our next 2 weeks of programming.
Yeah. Eric's just like, damn it, I got to be on the show in 2 weeks.
No, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
He's taking his birthday off. Nothing wrong with that.
I was going to say we do it.
All right. I would give Raging Cajun, I think, even though, like we said, it was booked a little sloppily, I do think that all the performers really did their job and put on a really good show. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. For a clash that's not looked at with the best clashes all the time, I thought it was a great show.
It's not looked very fondly, but Eric, why don't you go next and I'll go last?
For what they showed on the network, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's a solid show. Main event stole the show, obviously.
For the talent that they had,
Yeah.
and what they were able to do, I'm going to say an 8.4 out of 10. Because this show, and again, I do think they should, the WWE should smack the asshole who broke the fucking tape.
Yeah.
Because there is some stuff on here that should be fucking shown.
I agree.
Oh, you know what we forgot to talk about Sullivan and Spivey versus Eddie Gilbert and Rick Steiner.
Oh, that's true.
That's right, yeah.
I didn't like that match.
I mean, it sucked.
That's why I skipped over it.
I give that a 2.
1.5.
I'll go 1.9.
And I love Eddie Gilbert.
And I love Rick Steiner.
Yeah, me too.
I love Rick Steiner.
It was weird to see Scott Steiner with somebody else.
Rick.
That was Rick, by the way. But no, for a show that was, I mean, it's not looked at with fond eyes, but I still thought it was a great show, so I'm gonna say an 8.4.
All right. Eric.
He said 7.5.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We know what we're doing next week and the week after that. Doug, you want to talk cartoons?
All right. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna go on an hour early because we also have to do a pre-record tomorrow as well. The Animated Anarchy series is gonna start. And tomorrow night's matches is gonna be it's going to start, and the name of the new show on Saturday nights is called Animated Hour of Power. Animated Showdown will be the pre-recorded show that gets dropped on Wednesdays. Tomorrow night's lineup on Animated Hour of Power is going to be Black Clover versus Sailor Moon, Rick and Morty versus King of the Hill, G.I. Joe Real American Hero versus SpongeBob SquarePants, and the Transformers versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. By the way, Transformers is in your division.
Yeah.
So you are the main event tomorrow night.
Oh, shit.
Glory Hog.
Who am I fighting?
I believe it's Ninja Turtles, I think, is your friend Kelly's husband, Matt, Eric.
Oh, Matt's going fucking down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big show tomorrow. And we're going to tell everybody what the categories are. We're going to do the randomizer at the beginning of the show tomorrow, so we know what tomorrow's categories are going to be.
Yeah.
So this is the start of the Animated Anarchy series. And remember, best of 5 categories. So it's a best of 5. If you sweep, you get 30 points. If you win 3-1, you get 20. If you win 3-2, you get 10. And the loser gets 5. If you are a cartoon that gets swept, I'm taking 10 points away from you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some interesting scoring in this series. Animated Showdown, which will be premiering next Wednesday. The main event of that show that's going to be this upcoming Wednesday is Bob's Burgers, which is one of Sharon's shows, versus the Flintstones.
Which is my brother.
Yeah. So family rivalry right there. Families rivaling.
I can't know.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so we got that coming up.
There you go.
Yep.
Check out the Dizzleverse on Twitch. Check out
Great channel.
Great channel.
Awesome
You can see a lot of me and Dougie playing WWE.
Yeah.
And Mario.
My allergies were kicking my ass the last week.
He was sneezing.
Oh my God.
It was fun though. And Eric will be on soon too. And check out Eric's sports show, the Unscripted Sports Show, which is a big deal.
He just did one like a half hour ago.
Yeah, he's a working.
Yeah,
man.
I did 2 shows today before we did this.
You're a workaholic. I love it. He's a
Yes, I am.
badass. So
I'd say I work more on this than my actual. No, I shouldn't say that.
I was going to say, do you want to admit
I
that?
don't know if we want to put that in the air.
No, I'm joking.
Check all that out. Check out the Stabcast of me and Mindy. We got good horror stuff coming. We're talking about Sixth Sense, and we're seeing dead people this weekend. So on Sunday.
Nice.
So check out all the shows, and we love you all. Next week, SummerSlam 2000. Let's see Kurt Angle get a big concussion.
Yeah. Eric, you know what I'm getting ready to ask.
You sure?
Yes. Thank you.
Yep,
Kurt
you're
Angle,
welcome.
Rock, and Triple H next week. See everybody.
Oh, yeah.
My boys.
Yeah.
Dennis will be back.